Part 3, The 100 Ghosts Dream I Became the Bride in a Horror Dungeon. The groom was a giant rooster. On the wedding day, everyone searched the entire mansion. Where is the groom? Where is the groom? Quite a compliment. What a novelty to find. Looking at the pot of chicken soup that had just been cooked, I drank it down deliciously. There are already 100 players. The S-rank dungeon 100 Ghosts is officially opened. The lotus blooms at 3 o'clock, and 100 ghosts are terrified. I wish you all a happy death, a refreshing death. This kind of blessing for the underworld again? I rubbed my brows, a red light flashed, and I entered this S-rank dungeon. My name is Li Kuei, a young female Taoist priest of the 21st century. My master is from Mount Fumeng, Xiaoyao sect, and I am proficient in incantations, talismans, and summoning techniques. I am super strong. Even my master once had 2 of his front teeth knocked out by me. In order to help my senior sister repay her debt, I accepted the invitation of the horror game and entered the mysterious game space. If I win, I can receive a large sum of money. If I lose, of course I will lose my life. It doesn't matter, I won't lose anyway. Sly smile.jpg, the comments started to get heated. I heard a bunch of Xietang's fans have entered this game. They came here specifically to block Li Kuei's path. Xietang is a teammate I knew in the previous dungeon. He looks like a celebrity. His fans are very passionate. Looks like this is going to be a bit of a problem. I wore a phoenix-shaped wedding dress and sat in front of the bronze mirror. The system displayed a large, happy character, red as blood, dripping down to the tip of my toes, dyeing my embroidered shoes red. As soon as I saw this character, I felt like I heard a trumpet sound in my ears. It was piercing and loud. I looked at the character information in the game. The full screen flashed with a dark red light. Player, Li Kuei. Identity, X's bride. System reminder, tomorrow is the wedding, absolutely do not leave the house at 3 o'clock. How strange to hear you. Furthermore, who is this X? Whose bride am I? Hungry in the middle of the night, I went out the door and turned right, grabbed the black-feathered rooster in the chicken coop and butchered it. The pot of soup was boiling, the aroma of chicken soup spread out. When it was done, I quickly scooped up a large bowl. It was fragrant. I finished it all in one gulp. My stomach felt warm and comfortable. Ding, system screamed, the groom was cooked by you. The groom was cooked by you. I was stunned. The groom is a rooster? Damn system, why didn't you say so earlier? Helplessly. I quickly scooped up another bowl and happily continued to slurp. Can't blame me. I smiled and defended myself. Who told you, system, to play tricks without telling me first? The system was silent for 3 seconds. Then, I couldn't help but retort. I'm so angry. X's identity is for you to guess. Who would have thought you would eat it? This is a horror game. Is marrying a rooster scary? Is ghost marriage with a dead person scary? Your late-night snack turned everything into a joke. Comment, oh my god. This is the first time I've seen the system talk so much. It seems like it's really angry. Little White Flower's death-seeking technique is truly superb. After scolding me for half an hour, the system gave up and had no choice but to release the background information. Sun Yuanwei's only son died of tuberculosis at the age of 17. As the richest man in Hutao town, Sun Yuanwei was unwilling to let his son be alone in the afterlife. He had a lot of money, so he bought me from the cousin of the second uncle of the aunt of the fourth uncle's adopted sister, to ghost marry his son. The black rooster is a substitute for the tuberculosis demon, also known as the ghost marriage messenger, carefully selected by the shaman from tens of thousands of roosters. If I bow to the rooster in the human world, I will be buried alive in a tomb, and buried with young Master Sunday. My soul will go to the underworld, and I can be with the sick young master for life. I won't do it. I'd rather swallow this filthy custom. The sky brightened. Outside, there was a commotion, shouting loudly, "Where is the groom? Where is the groom? Everyone, hurry up and find him. If we delay any longer, we'll miss the auspicious time. The tuberculosis demon is still waiting for the bride in the underworld. If Sun Yuanwei gets angry, he's done for." I elegantly gnawed on the last chicken bone, and burped heartily. Crack, I pushed the door open, looked at the maids, wet nurses, and servants wearing red clothes and green hats filling the yard, and spread my hands and said, "Stop looking, I've eaten the groom." I smiled and pointed at my stomach. "It's in here." All the NPCs were stunned. A gloomy wind blew by, carrying rustling dry leaves. The matchmaker stood rooted to the spot, as if she was plastered with cement. She stuttered, "Miss, miss, miss, miss." She said miss dozens of times in a row, her whole body frozen. The comments burst into laughter. I'm dying of laughter. This is the first time I've seen an NPC lag. I couldn't drink any water after watching Xiao Baihua's live stream. I spit it all out on the computer. Oh, suddenly. The sound of roosters crowing rang out. A rain of roosters poured down from the sky. In the blink of an eye, the entire yard was filled with roosters flapping their wings, their feathers flying everywhere. The system was showing off its power to me. "I don't believe you can eat them all." It was modifying the plot, forcing me to have a ghost marriage. I raised my hand and chanted, "Shock decision, thunderous wrath." In the blink of an eye, thunder and lightning erupted from the ninth heaven. Crack, the entire yard of roosters instantly turned into lightning-struck roasted chickens. All the NPCs were scared and hugged each other, afraid that I would get angry and kill them all. "System," I coldly said, "forced marriage, that's not possible." The worried comments, then what should we do now? If we don't have a ghost marriage, we can't go to the underworld. If we don't go to the underworld, we can't continue the game. Little White Flower is dead for sure this time. Little White Flower dares to talk back to the system? Everyone wait to pick up her body. Unexpectedly, the next second, the system showed humility, because the marriage messenger was eaten. The original wedding is cancelled. Bridely AI received a husband selection tool. She can change her marriage partner at will. It will be distributed by the NPC later. I smiled with satisfaction. My marriage, I am in charge. Silent comments, the system is about to be played dirty by Little White Flower. Not only the system, I am also about to be played dirty by AI Shin. Just now I was really worried about her. I feel so sorry for myself. A flower palanquin took me to the bank of the Wei River. The matchmaker pointed to the already dug grave and invited me, "Bride, hurry up and come in. If you're a moment late, you'll have to wait until tomorrow." She stuffed a peach blossom into my hand and flattered me, "Give the flower to whoever you choose as the groom." I took the peach blossom and smiled in thanks. I turned around and jumped into the grave. When I opened my eyes again, I was already in the underworld. The place I landed was Sun's mansion. After all, I came from Sun Gongzi's tomb. Sun Yuanwei was indeed worthy of being the richest man in Hutao town. He must have burned a lot of paper money for his son. Sun Gongzi's mansion in the underworld was magnificent and majestic. Under the moonlight, the sickly young master was wearing a bright red wedding dress, standing weakly by the window. Outside the window, a small willow tree was swaying in the wind. The young man turned around, clasped his hands and saluted me. "Wife is polite, cough cough cough." His face was pale, his eyes were dark, his appearance was handsome. His weak body could not support the loose wedding dress. He opened his mouth and coughed continuously. I took out a pill and stuffed it into his mouth. Who is your wife? Before coming to the horror game, I had cleaned out my senior sister's alchemy room. There were countless medicines. He was forced to swallow it by me. His eyes widened. Cough, of course it's you. When my father burned the paper, he clearly told me that he would send a wife down to me today. Wrong, there's an extra word. I tiptoed and poked his head. It's not wife, it's mother. From today onwards, I am your foster mother, in charge of your health and studies. Have you memorized the Analects? Have you read the rites, Spring and Autumn, and Book of Songs carefully? You haven't read it carefully yet and you're already talking nonsense. Go study. The young man was bewildered, crying as he walked into the study. While staggering, he muttered, "You're only a few years older than me, and you're already my mother. I have to go into my dreams and tell my father. Young master's son is so pitiful, even after death he still has to study. I heard that living until old age, studying until old age, this is the first time I've seen living until death, studying until death. I heard that even after death one must love, this is the first time I've seen death one must also study." Unexpectedly, Sun Zhao was a genius. He recited the Book of Songs backwards in just one night. If he hadn't died young, he might have been able to pass the imperial examination in the human world. I tested him several times, praising him as I tested him. This brain, this memory. What a good seed for studying. Watching Xiao Baihua's live stream really makes me sad. My academic performance is worse than that of a ghost. The official book is The River. A graceful and gentle woman, a gentleman likes to seek. Young master son's gaze towards Xiao Baihua is not pure. That's right, he kept stealing glances at Xiao Baihua, his gaze was complicated. So what if it's not pure? A good wife has turned into a mother. Unexpectedly, the days of being a chicken passed by in the blink of an eye. Half a month had passed. I had been waiting for the system to announce the main quest. But the system was still silent. Early in the morning, the paper sun hung high in the sky, emitting a dim light. The sky of the netherworld seemed to be covered in fog, not transparent, making the world feel stuffy. Ding, system notification. Congratulations to all players for successfully entering the netherworld. Currently the number of dead players is 29, the number of surviving players is 71. The survival rate is quite high, so high that it's not like an S-rank dungeon. While I was deep in thought, the system finally released the main quest. Recently, in the underworld city, there have been soul-eating ghosts that specialize in eating players who sneak into the city. Players need to hide their identities well, otherwise. Attention all players. Killing the soul-eating ghost will allow you to return to the game hall smoothly. Remember, don't trust anyone. Please check your clues. A yellow piece of paper flew down. On it was written a beautiful line of small words. There is a temple in the southeast. The evil spirit chants Zen Sutras. I grabbed the paper and put it in my sleeve. The evil spirit is in the temple in the southeast. Is it a monk? Urgent matters, can't delay. I rode the crane to the southeast. On the way it was pouring rain. To avoid the rain, I happened to land near an abandoned temple, and just then I heard chanting coming from inside the temple. What a coincidence! Could it be that the one chanting in the temple was the soul-eating ghost? Before I could enter the temple, I was blocked by a few girls. The leader was a blue-haired girl with a sharp temperament. She held an umbrella in one hand and placed her hand on her hip in the other, angrily saying, "Li Ko Ai, I finally caught you. Humph, we've been annoyed with you for a long time. We entered the game just to beat you up legally." The comments were noisy. These people are Xie Tang's crazy fans. The leader is the vice president of the fan club Lan San San, the second young lady of the Lawn Corporation. Are you stupid? The temple is a soul-eating ghost. Instead of killing monsters quickly, he's fighting internally. Xie Tang is indeed handsome, but his fans are really indescribable. Looking at the little sisters, I pointed behind them. The blue-furred zombies drooled and jumped closer and closer. Not only did Lan San San not turn her head, she glared at me. What are you doing? Are you scared? If you're scared, then quickly kneel down and kowtow to us, swearing to stay away from Xie Tang. That's right, you have to swear. If you dare to look at Xie Tang one more time, gouge out your own eyes. How can gouging out your own eyes be enough? You have to swear that if you dare to come near Xie Tang again, you'll be eaten by monsters. The girls laughed loudly, looking smug and proud. I sighed, and pointed behind them again. The green-haired zombie bared its fangs and claws, about to bite off their necks. This time, they finally turned their heads to look. If they didn't look, that was fine, but as soon as they looked, the girls shouted in unison. Ah! Help! 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 Lan San San's legs went weak, and she fell face down on the ground. The rest of the girls, some fainted, some quickly hid behind me, and one jumped on me, covering my eyes tightly. My eyes went dark. Luckily, the green-haired zombie was just a small monster. I threw out a few talismans, immobilizing the zombie. Then I tried to free the Xie Tang fangirl who was hugging me tightly, and pulled her off me. I was both angry and amused. It's safe now, don't worry. Lan San San was scared. She curled up on the ground, hugging her knees and crying loudly, her cries even louder than the pouring rain outside. The other female fans also started crying. Why is it so dangerous in the game? Ha ha ha. Sister San San, didn't you say that killing monsters is very simple? Why do you collapse the moment you see a monster? I thought that by becoming a player, I could fight alongside Xie Tang in the game. Ho ho ha, the horror game is so scary, I want to get out. I want to get out too. Get out. But how could the system let players come and go as they please? After the girls vented their anger, they quickly accepted reality. They hugged my thighs. Please, take us with you. Don't abandon us, we were wrong when you scolded us before. Ho ho ha, Sister Kai, please don't hold grudges. Seeing their comrades betraying them all at once. Lan San San fiercely kicked the umbrella on the ground, ignoring the pouring rain pouring down on her head. She angrily scolded, just a few little zombies, have you scared them like this? Before entering the game, didn't I say I would teach Li Kuai a lesson? Now you only know how to hug other people's thighs? Just you girls are delusional about meeting Xie Tang? I will expel you from the Fang Club. Forever. Before she finished speaking, the heavy rain had washed away the immobilization talisman on a zombie's head. Lan San San's neck was immediately squeezed by the zombie. The blue-gray fingers dug into her flesh, and Lan San San was so scared that she screamed. The fangs were about to dig into her fair neck, separation, karma fire parting body. A giant red-hot talisman swooshed and swept the zombie away. The zombie was swept into the air, and in just a moment, the fierce flames burned it to ashes. Xie Tang's fans were all stunned. Eyes wide open, mouth wide open, as if she had just swallowed a toad. Li Kuai, are you human? I found an abandoned wooden house at the foot of Qingyun Mountain, and temporarily let the girls rest there. Outside, thunder and lightning rumbled continuously. The girls were soaked, hugging each other tightly. I used the Li Ju to light a fire, helping them dry their clothes. Lan San San pursed her lips, covering the wound on her neck, her face full of tension. I gave her a pill, smiling and saying, "Here, take it. If you don't take it, you'll be infected with the zombie poison, and you'll turn into a zombie too." She gritted her teeth and ignored me, tears welling up in her eyes, very stubborn. I was helpless, holding the back of her head, forcing her mouth open, and stuffing the pill in. She swallowed the pill, glared at me with a strong and weak expression, then suddenly burst into tears. Crying for about 2 minutes, then suddenly turning away, saying with difficulty, Thank you for saving me." Her voice was as small as a mosquito. I laughed, reaching out, "If you want to thank me, then show me your clue." The girl was stunned, then quickly took out a piece of yellow paper. On it was written, "Southeast has a painting workshop, the devil imitates human skin." The others also gave their clues one by one. "Southeast has a tall building, the devil picks stars." "Southeast has a music workshop, the devil plays the guangling zither." "Southeast has zhang tai, the devil bends like a willow." "Southeast has a wine house, the devil brews osmanthus flowers." Other than pointing out the devil in the southeast corner, the other clues were all different. "This devil does this and that, he's really busy." I nodded, told them to keep the clues safe, then gave each of them 3 fire talismans and 3 thunder talismans. In addition, I gave Lon San San a sound transmission talisman, and told them to go to the Sun family's house on Thu Tui Street to wait for me. I still had work to do. Seeing that I was about to leave, the girls who had hated me earlier now had tears in their eyes. "Sister, are you going to leave us behind? Are you still angry with us?" Sorry, we were foolish before, but today we really learned our lesson. Please don't leave us behind." Even Lon San San struggled to walk in front of me, and said hesitantly, I owe you an apology. You want to leave, I won't stop you, but this apology must be said." After she finished speaking, she let out a sigh of relief, as if her heart had become more at ease. I laughed and stroked her head until it was a mess like a bird's nest. She looked at me angrily, endured for a while, then suddenly bent down. Rub it, as long as you stay and protect us, you can mess with my head however you want." I, comforting them for a while, until the heavy rain turned into a light drizzle, they finally believed that I really had something to do. The comments started to get impatient. "Little White Flower is so patient, why tell them so much?" "That's right. I'm waiting to see Little White Flower go fight monsters, quickly go to the temple to find the ghost spirit." "How are you sure that the ghost spirit in the temple is a ghost spirit?" "Every clue is different. Ask the same. The clues are all different. Who exactly is the evil spirit? Wait until Little White Flower gets to the temple and you'll know." It was drizzling. I held an oil paper umbrella, stood outside the temple, listening to the scriptures. The devil's voice was extremely charming and alluring. He asked me, "It's raining non-stop, why don't you come in? Do you think this temple is small and deserted, dirtying your clothes?" I no longer hesitated, carefully walked through the temple gate. The firelight was dim, cobwebs were tangled. The smell of mold, mixed with the strong smell of blood. The firewood in the stove was crackling. Under the firelight, an extremely handsome monk was looking at me with his eyes smiling. He was about 18 or 19 years old, wearing a white monk's robe, holding a scripture in his hand. A red mole at the corner of his eye, his demeanor was full of charm. The monk's eyes swept over me, his demeanor gentle, reaching out his hand. "Please sit down and warm yourself with the fire." "Thank you." I brushed my skirt and sat on the pile of dry straw. When adding firewood, I deliberately touched his fingertips. The cold was piercing to the bone. I turned my head to look at him. The demon monk also turned to look at me, a fleeting smile on his lips. "This little monk still has some food here, I wonder if you mind." He took out 2 pieces of dried meat from his shirt and handed them to me. I waved my hand and the dried meat rolled into the pile of dry straw. "Monks eat meat?" I smiled at him, intentionally exposing him. The demon monk looked at me and chuckled. He smiled gently and seductively. This little monk has broken the precepts for a long time. Killing, stealing, adultery, lying, double-tongued speech, harsh speech, slander, greed, anger, ignorance. Of the 10 precepts, Shanine has broken more than one. His eyes were like a ghost, staring at me. On a dreary rainy day, miss, guess how many precepts this little monk has broken? I turned away, following the fishy smell, and pulled open the curtain under the Buddhist altar. So much blood. So much bones. So you really are a monster. I made the first move, throwing the talisman straight at his brow. The demon monk quickly dodged, like a wisp of smoke, appearing and disappearing. In the blink of an eye, many of his illusions appeared in the temple. Now appearing and now disappearing, extremely eerie. Although I am evil, I am not a monster, the demonic laughter echoed in my ears. I held my breath and focused. Unchanging, calm and peaceful. In the blink of an eye, amidst the countless illusions, I saw the monster monk's weakness. I focused on chanting, "Water Dragon Roar." A dragon roar rang out. A giant transparent water dragon appeared behind me, flying straight towards where I pointed. The dragon coiled around his body, the monster that should have been destroyed. Lotus platform, the demon monk hummed softly. A giant lotus flower immediately bloomed under his body, neutralizing the attack for him. The demon monk leisurely sat on the lotus flower, muttering the incantation. Then, countless rosary beads flew towards me. The two of us fought from inside the temple to outside the temple, then fought to the apricot forest, the river, the mountain top. Miss, what grudge do we have? The demon monk couldn't help but speak up. Why do you keep following me? I'm tired. Monk, how many players have you eaten? The talisman chased after him relentlessly. Players? The demon monk dodged and his eyes lit up. I've never eaten a player, but I've eaten a lot of fish and shrimp. What's the blood under the Buddha altar? I withdrew the talisman, flew up and kicked him. He grabbed my leg. Taking this opportunity, I quickly stuck a talisman on his forehead, fixed. He was immediately fixed. I smiled and clapped my hands, fixed. Miss, you misunderstood. It was obvious that he had fallen into my hands, but he still calmly and gently explained, the blood under the Buddha is tiger blood, and the bones are also tiger bones. I looked at him suspiciously. That ruined temple doesn't look like a place where people live. If you're not a monster, then you're a passerby. Who are you? Amitabha Buddha, my Dharma name is Shanine, I'm an ordinary monk practicing. He suddenly chuckled, speaking of players. I'm also a player. I looked at him in surprise. The rain stopped, the colorful clouds rose, the evening light burned half the sky like a flame. The fiery red color was reflected in his eyes. His eyes were like glass, clear and flawless. Oh. A little embarrassed. I had just had a huge fight with a player, and I was still smugly thinking that I had caught the Soul Eater. Shanine said he was a player, and at first I was skeptical. Until he said that, I couldn't help but believe him. He said, Li Kuai, I've heard of you. The system told you not to seduce NPCs. I was stunned. How did you know? Shanine smiled. The dungeon, De Dang Yen La. I was also one of the people who passed the level. Me, my forehead was full of black lines. In the dungeon, De Dang Yen La, there were a total of 9 people who passed the level. My friends and I took up 3, I didn't know who the other 6 were. It turned out he was there. But I couldn't blame him for misunderstanding him. This guy played a horror game without live streaming. When I touched his hand, I didn't see any comments. How could I know he was a player? The comments on my live stream started buzzing. This name Shanine sounds familiar. Is he new?
Ah, ah.
Idiot, idiot. What newbie? Don't you guys know who he is? What's going on upstairs? Who is he? Didn't you guys look at the game rankings? He's the second-ranked Saint Monk on the overall rankings. Second-ranked on the overall rankings.
Ah, 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 ah.
So it's him. No wonder we couldn't figure it out right away. Great God, Shanine never live streams. He also rarely encounters other players in the game. We don't even know what he looks like. Of course we couldn't figure it out right away.
Ah, 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 ah.
So it's Shanine. I'm so excited I want to do a 10-round flip on the spot. I want to change my idol. From today onwards, I am a fan of Lord Shinyin's beauty. Little Bai Hua begs you. Act together with Lord Shinyin, we want to see more of him. Please. Let's beg. Hoo, this is the first time I've seen the true face of the great god. I'm so excited. The news of Shinyin's appearance seemed to have spread. In the blink of an eye, my live stream viewership skyrocketed. The number of online viewers reached nearly 1 million. I rubbed my temples. If we don't fight, we won't know each other. Why don't we exchange information? Shinyin handed me his yellow paper. In the northwest, there is Sun Mansion. The evil spirit studies the book of poetry. My skin crawled. This sentence was clearly referring to Sun Zhao. Late at night. The fog rose, the Sun Mansion was shrouded in a thick fog, like a ghostly mansion covered in spider webs, devouring souls, with a heavying energy. A distance away, a weak flame flickered in the fog. That was the sick young master holding a lantern, standing at the door waiting for me. He looked like he had lost his soul. Shinyin and I walked in front of him. Sun Zhao was startled. He was clearly waiting for me, but when he saw me, his eyes evaded, as if he was very guilty. His appearance made me even more suspicious. I patted his shoulder, smiling and leaning closer. Are you afraid of me? The young man who was patted on the shoulder shrank back. He pushed my hand away, his expression changed, he made an inviting gesture, and gritted his teeth. You keep asking to be my mother, and even colluding with the demon monk to do shady things. I want to send a dream to my father to tell him. Hoo. How strange. He's not like usual. Is he really a devil?
Ha, 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 ha.
So pitiful. Is the young master jealous? Love brain, get out of the way. Sun Zhao is a soul-eating ghost. Lord Ai Shin and Shanine must be careful. Sun Zhao doesn't look good. Does he know that his identity has been exposed? Everyone is acting, maintaining a fragile harmony. But this fragile harmony is easily broken.
Ah, ah, ah.
It's so thrilling to watch. If Sun Zhao is a soul-eating ghost, specializing in eating players, then Lan San and the others. They came to the government office to find me. I'm afraid they've. Are you asking those girls? Sun Zhao pointed to the living room with his thin, pointed chin. Pushing open the door of the living room, the sound of even breathing could be heard from inside. Several of Xie Tang's fans were sleeping soundly. Lan San even talked in her sleep. Tang. Li. Bit you. I felt a little relieved. But soon after, the system rarely announced at night. Ding dash, a day passed. Qingmo Painting Hall, player Gao Huadong died. Zhongtai Palace, player Lu Yy died. Xi Xinglu, player Nguyen Tivu died. Kokong Music Hall, player Dan Takam died. DMK Wine Shop, player Hua Lo died. The number of players who died was 81, the number of players who survived was 19. Be careful. The soul-eating ghost is beside you. The comments exploded.
Ah, 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 ah.
So many people died in one day. S-rank instance, it's really too scary. Who is the devil in the end? Who I want to hug Lena Bell to sleep together. Oh, the Lena Bell that the above person mentioned, I thought it was Annabelle. Lam San San and the others were sleeping soundly when they were awakened. They were also scared to death by the midnight announcement. The young girls surrounded me and cried miserably. This dungeon is called 100 Ghosts Nightmare. It really makes people wake up, unable to sleep. I was coaxing the girls. Outside the door, a green figure flashed by. Sun Zhao, wearing green clothes. It's midnight. In the study room, the light was dim. I pressed Sun Zhao down on the cold floor, turned around and sat on him, and questioned, "You are the soul-eating ghost, right?" The young man struggled helplessly, his pale face turned dark red. "You are the ghost." He burst into tears, tears flowing like two waterfalls. "Why am I so unlucky? I just logged into the game and already got married to a ghost hoo. The devil doesn't let me be intimate and still wants to be my mother, forcing me to study hoo. You eat me. I can't stand these days of living in fear anymore." I let him go. He was panting, rubbing his sore wrist. After a while, he looked at me blankly. "Are you going to eat or not?" Then he blushed. "Do you like me?" I sighed. "Are you also a player? Why did you turn off the live stream?" My initial skill in the game is, I can see the live stream comments. If I have physical contact with another player, I can also see the player's live stream comments. But this kid has turned off the live stream. It's hard for me to judge whether he is a player or not. Have you ever heard of Lord Shanine? Sun Zhao snorted. He has never turned on the live stream. He is my idol. I do what idols do. Me, give me a clue, I will take you to meet your idol. The teenager watched me warily for a while, then carefully took out the yellow paper. Wrinkled into a ball, I smoothed it out. The Sun Mansion is in the center, the devil is wearing a red dress. Strange, I'm wearing a red dress. Boom boom boom, the sky had just brightened. The main door of the Sun Mansion was already being banged on. It was noisy outside. The person who came had bad intentions. Does your Sun Mansion have a girl with waist-length hair? Has a pair of peach blossom eyes, smiling sweetly. In the southeast is the Sun Mansion. The devil has a beautiful appearance. In the southwest is the Sun Mansion. The devil laughs loudly. Open the door. Quickly open the door. We're coming to catch the devil. The system is targeting me. The surviving players from all over rushed over, the clues in their hands, most of them pointing towards me. In the hallway, Shanine fiddled with his rosary beads, tilted his head to look over. Things have come to this point, don't you understand yet? The wind blew, peach blossoms fell all over him. I understood. The clues given by the system were not pointing towards the devils at all, but towards each player. The purpose was to make the players suspect each other, and slaughter each other. Suspicion gives birth to devils. We were exactly 100 players. The 100 devils in the 100 devils dream instance were ourselves. Shanine brushed off the peach blossoms on his body, smiling and saying, "Humans have impure afflictions, also known as the 5 defilements, greed, anger, ignorance, and doubt. One word of doubt caused 100 players to kill each other until only a dozen remained. This dungeon is ranked S+, killing each other, it's really more terrifying than a cannibal demon." He patted my shoulder. "You run away for today. Tonight, when the lotus blooms, I'll take you out of the dungeon." I took a step back. "Thank you for your kindness. But, can we just leave Lan San San and Sun Zhao and the others alone?" Listen, Lon San San led a group of Xie Tang's fans to curse through the door at the person who came. Dare to say that Li Kuai is a ghost? I think you good-for-nothings are the ghosts. Stop clinging to our sister Kuai, be careful, we'll scold you so much that you won't be able to find your way home. Li Kuai saved our lives. Saving one life is better than building 7 pagodas, understand? If she was a ghost, she would have eaten us long ago. I'm so mad. Can you please use your brains a little when analyzing the clues? Don't be fooled by the system anymore. Sun Zhao also weakly interjected. He shouted loudly, Li Kuai cured my lung disease. I've been living with her for half a month, other than forcing me to study, she hasn't done anything bad. Moreover, she's my wife, you guys still dare to shout about killing her, I'll beat you guys up. Me. Both touching and funny. Little white flower, you've won the love of your anti-fans. Little white flower, they're sincere to you, don't ever abandon them. Hoo, at least in this world full of suspicion, they completely trust you. That's right. In this world full of suspicion, they completely trust me. I have to take them away from here. I rode a crane and flew into the air. Explained clearly to everyone about my experience and the system's conspiracy. Then, loudly said, I'm not a ghost. Whoever believes me, tonight at the second watch, meet at the gate of the Sun Palace. The second place on the overall leaderboard, Shanine, and I will take you out of the dungeon. Everyone was in an uproar. Shanine leaned against the peach tree, stunned, and pointed at himself in confusion. I smiled mischievously at him, if I don't push you away, it won't be convincing, you are my best witness. The demon monk glanced at me, then curled his lips and smiled lightly. He waved his sleeves and left, the scent of peach blossoms filled the air. At the third watch, lotus flowers bloomed. It wasn't just the lotus in the lotus pond in the underworld, but the lotus in the painting on the cliff of Guanming Mountain. The night was as cold as water, suitable for lighting candles and strolling at night. Our group of 19 people, led by Shanine, climbed Mount Guanming at night. Along the way, some people secretly doubted. What if Li Kuai is a demon, tricking us into going up the mountain in the middle of the night? That's right. That's right. I'm scared too. I'm scared too, but isn't Lord Shanine guaranteeing it? Who knows if that little monk is Lord Shanine or not, we've never actually met him. The whispers grew louder and louder, more and more arrogant. Lon San San was angry, turned her head and scolded, if you don't believe me, then get lost. We originally had no obligation to save you. The others were upset and shut their mouths. But not long after, they became suspicious again, whispering to each other non-stop. It's hopeless. These suspicious people are annoying to death. Xiao Baihua can just be beautiful by herself. That's right, if you don't believe me, then why follow me? Why are there such hateful people in the world? Well, put yourself in their shoes. If you were in that situation, would you doubt Xiao Baihua? I think I would doubt. Damn it. I originally wanted to scold them, but when I changed my perspective, if I didn't have a third-person perspective, I would also doubt Xiao Baihua. Human nature is hard to judge. If someone doubts you, you can't break the situation. In this 100 demons nightmare instance, the real devil is the word doubt in people's hearts. A bearded man blocked my way. Girl, don't blame me for doubting you, our clues all point to you, you led us up the mountain in the middle of the night, really. He didn't finish speaking. Me, shock strike, thunder fury. Crack, a bolt of lightning struck behind him. The man was so scared that he fell to his knees. You, what do you want to do? I smiled and pointed behind him. The charred corpse of a demon lay behind him, less than half a meter away. The man's face was red, embarrassed, his eyes filled with gratitude. Thank you, I patted him. Hurry up, if you miss the third watch tonight, there won't be another chance. That's right, the clue that Shanine found was, tonight is the only time the lotus blooms. If you miss tonight, you're done for. The man nodded quickly. Miraculously, ever since I saved him, the whispers had disappeared. His ears were quiet, his mind was clear. On the way, we encountered more than 10 attacks, and Shanine and I saved people many times. People trusted us more and more. We united and helped each other, gradually approaching the top of the mountain. Near the mural, suddenly the fog thickened. Everything around was shrouded in mist. Danger also often lurked in mist. Shanine, who was walking in front of me, suddenly disappeared, replaced by a series of shrill, eerie laughter. Likuei, you are too stupid. You and I have never met, you just trust me like that? The shrill laughter echoed around, layer upon layer. The illusion of the demon monk also appeared before my eyes, sometimes here, sometimes there, vaguely, as if there were thousands and thousands of Shanine. You are really an idiot, can I let you die here tonight? There are temples in the southeast, evil spirits chanting sutras and reciting Buddha's name. Didn't the clue lead you to find me? Why did you believe my lie? I'm not a player at all. When you touched me, didn't you see no comments? Why don't you believe in yourself? My mind was dizzy. Behind me came a curse. Likuei and the demon monk are on the same side, they are all demons. Kill them. Let's join forces to kill them. The light of the swords and blades came. Shinyin's rosary beads also attacked me. The comments were anxious and panicked. Damn it, help. Lord Shanine is a demon. It's over, going up the mountain in the middle of the night is a trap. Little white flower has been captured. What should I do? I vigorously rubbed my aching temples. Kamju, water barrier. A wet barrier protected around me. That's not right. That's not it. I sat cross-legged on the ground, chanting the pure mind mantra. The supreme altar, the ultimate response. Dispel evil and bind demons, protect life and body. Clear wisdom, peaceful mind. Eternal three souls, no more mourning. After reciting it over and over, I suddenly felt my mind lighten. Raising my head, I saw on the wall a giant lotus slowly blooming with golden light, indescribably beautiful. I stood up, walked towards the lotus, and jumped inside. Amitabha Buddha then reached out and pulled me, dragging me into the light. He looked intently into my eyes with interest. In the illusion, who is your suspicious spirit and suspicious ghost? I glanced at him. You still dare to ask? Looking back, the others were still struggling in the illusion, screaming and fighting wildly. Shanine shook his head. Don't even think about helping them. In this dungeon, if you can't break the word suspicion, you will die sooner or later. Either live or die, there is no third way. The word suspicion is born from the heart. We can do nothing but watch. After a long while, Sun Zhao escaped the illusion and stepped into the light. As soon as he saw Shanine, Sun Zhao fell to his knees. Great God, it was you who saved me. I believe you absolutely wouldn't lie to me. It was my trust in you that helped me escape. After a while, Lan San San and the other crazy fans also tiredly ran in. Sister Kuei, I knew you wouldn't harm us. Lan San San burst into tears. You have saved us time and time again, how could you harm us? Sister, we love you so much. Some people crawled in covered in blood, luckily escaping death. Some people were besieged by suspicion, their souls leaving their bodies on Mount Guanming. But they couldn't be blamed. In the mortal world, being able to trust someone was truly too difficult. Therefore, the 3 words, I believe you, were truly extremely precious. The third watch had struck. the lotus flower suddenly closed. Everything that appeared in the illusion was all illusory. Side story: the game lobby announced. The instance 100 Ghosts Dream has been completed. Number of people who completed it, 11 people. The game reward of 200,000 gold coins has been transferred to your account, please check. Screams rang out in the lobby. Please make way for me, where is Lord Shanine? Don't push me.
Ah, ah, ah.
I must take a photo with Lord Shanine. What? You said the second-rate Lord Shanine appeared? Where? I held the piece of paper tightly in my palm. I opened it and read, "Let's be friends." Below it was WeChat and a phone number. It was Shanine who gave it to me. All right. I confess. This kind of impartial copy is much more dangerous than I imagined. Luckily, I threw the little peach branch into Shanine's arms early. That was the husband selection tool that the system gave me. The person I threw it at was my ideal husband. He must follow the 3 no's: 1. Don't lie to his wife. 2. Don't hide secret funds. 3. Don't disobey his wife. That's right, I didn't really trust Shanine. But he fell for it. He couldn't lie to me. So I knew he definitely wouldn't lie to me. Ding, player Liku AI, please check, you have received 400,000 gold coins. System reminder, Little Peach Branch is still in effect, all the gold coins that player Shanine has received in this game belong to his wife. A second later, WeChat displayed a notification. It's Shanine. Liku AI, what did you do to me? End of Part 3, Part 4, The Ladies' Hotel.